that sounds funky. Very loud, very loud. Right, the Cobra AreoJet, let's get into it. So this is the new lineup of Cobra drivers. They are out in markets now, and we've seen reviews already coming from them, and I've been quite excited to try these because over the last few years I think Cobra have been a brand that have done a lot of good stuff when it comes to the driver market. They've really cemented themselves in that position of being one of the choices of driver that you would fall into straight away. You would alternate and flip to a Cobra driver. They are very, very good, or have been very good. But how are these AreoJets going to actually perform? Because I've heard mixed things. So there's 3 models in the lineup, and what are we seeing from those? It's pretty much what you would expect to see from other manufacturers. Well, we've got sort of the player's driver being the LS. We've got the max driver aimed at more of your higher handicapper. Then you've got the standard one, which I would sort of categorise as more of the all-rounder now. This one here being the LS. Definitely looks a lot more sort of compact, a higher back, looks almost smaller. I would say it almost looks more unforgiving, you know, because of that compact nature, as where if you flipped and looked at the Max model, that looks a lot bigger, a lot lower to the floor, almost feels like the toes up, the heels down, and feels like it's got a lot more forgiveness in it. That has got no spin on it. It's a strange one because I like the look of the LS model, but I want the performance of the Max. I would definitely say, you know, from what I've heard from other people, is that the LS is quite unruly in there. Noticing that one, I do think this will be ultra low spinning. It'll be interesting to see if I do hit some on a GC3 what the spin numbers would be like. Obviously I'm not a player who spins it a lot either, but the only reason it's a little bit more LS is the weight position's a lot different. The 2 weight ports are up at the front of the face, as where when we see the standard one there's 1 weight port towards the back, and then with the Max we're seeing 1 at the back and 1 located at the heel. Let's just give this a go again. Let's see if we can tame this monster. Oh, it's drawing. I mean, it's not my best work. That is 2 wildly different shots there. I've tried putting a little draw on that, and it's a bit of a flighted hook, I would call that. And again, that is what I'm hearing from a lot of people. It does tend to be a little bit unruly. It'd be interesting to see how many people are actually in this one, or how many units actually get sold. And even tour players, I'd be interested to know how many of them are actually using this one. So throughout the lineup, we're seeing a lot of similar technologies. There's nothing that differs really in terms of the technology in the head. We've got the power shell, we've got the power bridge, we're seeing a graphite crown, we're seeing a graphite sole. Like I said a moment ago, it's more that we're seeing the weight ports actually change to get the LS model or the Max model, and then that sort of structure of the head. Basically to do with how the club is designed around the bottom. It's the most aerodynamic shape that they've been able to produce. That's all well and good, but if you can't keep the thing on the fairway, it doesn't really matter. That was absolutely crushed. I'll be interesting to see where that one's gone, because that felt good. What I will say for all the models is that when you look down on them, and I've noticed this a little bit even with the Callaway model, the Mizuno model, the sort of drawer higher handicap models, they're definitely looking a lot better these days, and it's the most inviting looking one of them all. It's, like I say, a little bit of a bigger footprint and looks like you're just going to launch it in the air, which is what I definitely found in my initial hitting of the Max driver. That's good again. That's going. Doesn't look like there's any spin, but it looks long. So price wise, when we're looking at the AreoJet family, we are getting a price that comes in at £429. I think that's not bad. I think that's pretty reasonable when you consider a Callaway driver. I think they're at £529. I think TaylorMade's a £499. So it's coming in at that little bit less. It's still quite a pricey purchase when you are looking at a single golf club, but at $429, I think it's good that they've positioned themselves slightly below the likes of your Callaway, the likes of a TaylorMade, and a couple of the others like the Titleist. But 429, it's still a lot of money, and that is for all models. Sometimes we see the max ones or the higher handicapper ones come in a little bit lower, but throughout the family, £429. Interestingly enough, I've just seen here the fairway woods, they have got expensive, £269 now for a fairway wood. Insane how much everything is costing as well. As a note, the ladies one also £429 as well. So good, but you know, we would always want them cheaper, but you know, you pay for what you get nowadays, I believe. So knowing who each driver's for, like I say, low, mid, high almost. One question that I do have, the LS version, are they pointless now? Because for me, it's a little bit too unruly. You'll get one that goes like an absolute rocket, then the next one drops out of the sky with very little spin on it. Average handicap around the world is, I think, around about 18 now. So comment down below, is a lot of you actually buying LS drivers, whether it's Ping, Callaway, Cobra, Mizuno, whoever it may be? Do we need to see those, or should they just be things that stay on tour? Because the one that excites me more is probably the max driver. I'm getting maximum forgiveness, and I'm probably still going to get a very similar distance, and it's going to be more consistent. So I'm going to put that to the test. 6-hole here at the Dukes. We're going to have 5 golf balls with the max driver to see how it performs in a fairway hitting test. Will I actually get 5 on the fairway? Is the distance okay? And then we're actually going to see how the standard performs against the LTDX just after that. So let's get into the max one. It does, like I say, it just looks so much more inviting in terms of the forgiveness aspect with this thing. Well, there's one fairway hit. That was a great flight. It just pops up in the air. Tiniest little draw on it. It felt like it went all the way that my normal driver would go. Let's go again. Let's see if we can get 2 out of 2. Oh, I've overdone it. There's a little bit left. Oh, and it's just kicked left on me. That's probably just into the semi-rough. That's what you want a max for, a poor strike that's launched up in the air and has found a fairway. I mean, I've hit that up at the top of the driver and it's still popped out and looks like it's actually not too bad of a shot. This has got to be probably the easiest driver to launch in the world. It just gets up, it just gets airbound straight away. Ah, too much draw. Wasn't a bad one, I just overdrew it. Definitely feels so easy to hit this. That one's 4. Can't stop you from missing the planet though if you put a really bad swing on it. Right then, not quite what we wanted. We got 2 out of 5 on the fairway there. I think 2 that have just missed have only just missed on the left, and one's obviously into another county, I think. But I will say, for a forgiveness aspect, even that last one, terrible golf swing, but the ball's up in the air, it's going the distance. I'll actually just check when we get down there how far they actually have gone compared to my normal shots in this hole, but they looked like they were going to go the normal distance, and like I say, just launches up in the air and easy to get it going. So I do like this. I think I need to experiment a little bit more with this one because it feels like possibly one of the easiest drivers to actually hit. My ball there, the other 2 that we had actually hit down on the fairway. We can see those, and the other 2 are just over in the semi on the other side. So my thoughts so far. I think looks wise, I want to say that I'm more of an LTD guy. I like the LTDX last year. I think it looked great. That matte finish looks more suitable for me. I like the look of it. Good looking drivers, don't get me wrong, but I just like the matte look. In terms of forgiveness, feel, how they're performing just out here on some initial testing, the LS model, like I said, do we need it? Should that just be for the pro ranks, the tour players? The Max, very, very good. I think it's very easy to launch. If you're someone who's looking, you know, really struggling with driver to get it up, get it actually out there, that seems to be the one. But AreoJet, it's all about this aerodynamic shape. It's faster, it's going to be longer. It's time to put it to the test. We're going to test it against the old LTDX, the standard model in both at a 9-degree head. And let's see what we get here. Let's go this AreoJet first. It's not going to be longer when you hit it out the heel, but do you know what? Just left of the trap. It's not done too bad as a shot, that one. 272, 110 balls clubhead speed, so I didn't feel like I actually got anything out of that one really, so not actually bad. 159 ball speed. That's straight down the middle. Looks longer. It is longer. The clubhead's gone up. 112 miles an hour clubhead, 284 yards and a 159 ball speed again, so somewhere in around 270, 278. Oh my God, that is wildly off the planet. Ball speed was good, shape of shot was rubbish. 162 ball speed, 279 carry and 111 clubhead speed, so averaging 111 at the moment. So let's hit two more. 112 clubhead, 293 yards for a 164. So that jumps our total up a little bit more. It gets to a 284, I think. Let's see what the LTDX has to offer. Do you know what? Looking at that, just looks better to me. Personal preference though. The standard one definitely looks a little bit more squashed, I would say, in the LTDX, but let's have a go. A little bit toey. Clubhead speed exactly the same, 111, 278, and do you know what? For a miss hit, and it's come out at 159 ball speed, that, and I've got it up here on the toe. That's actually come out a bit quicker. Same place down the middle, left side. 283 with a 162 ball speed and clubhead speed 110, so only a mile per hour, half a mile per hour on average slower thus far. Just left of the trap. 280 for 162. So we are shorter, 110 club, and we're a mile per hour slower. Ball speed's pretty much the same though. It's a better shot, Matthew. That left semi, but 160 ball speed, 110. So we're cruising at that 110 every single time. 283. So again, just a little bit shorter. Let's see what fifth and final has to say. That felt the fastest of them all. A little fade on it. 284 for 112 clubhead speed, 164 ball speed. So has the AreoJet taken it? Has it got faster? The answer is yes, by, you know, small margins. We're talking, I think, a mile per hour with the clubhead speed, and then we're talking a couple of miles per hour for the ball speed. So, you know, it is quicker, but just fractionally. And for me, yeah, the proof's in the pudding. It has, you know, done what it said. It is faster and it is quicker when I've tested it there, but you know, for the price that they're costing, I feel a little bit underwhelmed by this driver. It has worked, so you can't hold that against it, but I think from where LTDX was to where this is, I don't think like a lot's really happened. It just looks like a glossier version to me. Still a nice driver. The Max one for me is the biggest star of the bunch. I think that's really easy to hit. That really has stood out to me. But overall, I think if you were looking at buying one, maybe save yourself a few quid and get an LTDX, because it's still a cracking driver and you're only going to be 2 yards behind and a mile per hour slower. But AreoJet, let me know what your thoughts are. Have you enjoyed that review as well? As always, hit the subscribe button and we'll see you in the next video.